From this time on, the prince was known by different names. Some spoke of him as Buddha, the perfectly enlightened one. Tathagata. Some spoke of him as Shakyamuni, the sage of the Shaka clan. Others called him the world-honored one. これより大師は、ブッダ、無常学者、如来、シャカムニ、釈尊、世尊などの種々の名で知られるようになった。He went first to Mrigadava in Varanasi, where the 5 mendicants who had lived with him during the 6 years of his ascetic life were staying. At first they shunned him, but after they had talked with him, they believed in him and became his first followers. He then went to a Rajagriha castle and won over King Bimbisara, who had always been his friend. From there he went about the country, living on alms and teaching men to accept his way of life. People responded to him as the thirsty seek water and the hungry food. 2 great disciples, Sariputra and Maudgalyayana, and their 2,000 followers came to him. 釈尊はまず6年にわたる苦行の間、共に修行してくれた恩義のある5人の出家者に道を説こうとして、彼らの住むワラナシーのムリガダーバに赴き、彼らを教化した。彼らは最初、釈尊を避けようとしたが、教えを聞いてから釈尊を信じ、最初の弟子となった。また、ラージャグリーハに入って、ビンビサーラ王を強化し、ここを教えを説く根拠地として盛んに教えを広めた。人々はちょうど乾いた者が水を求めるように、飢えた者が食を求めるように、釈尊のもとにより集まった。シャーリプトラ、マウドゥガルヤーヤナの2大弟子をはじめとする2004人の弟子たちは釈尊を仰ぎ、その弟子となった。At first, the Buddha's father, King Shuddhodana, still inwardly suffering because of his son's decision to leave the palace, remained aloof, but then became his faithful disciple. Mahaprajapati, the Buddha's stepmother, and Princess Yashodhara, his wife, and all the members of the Shaka clan began to follow him. Multitudes of others also became his devoted and faithful followers. 釈迦の出家を憂えてこれを止めようとし、また釈尊の出家によって深い苦しみを味わった父のシュッドーダナ王、養母の マハプラジャーパティ、妃のヤショーダラをはじめとする釈迦族の人たちも皆釈尊に帰依して弟子となった。その他非常に多くの人々が彼の信奉者になった。For 45 years, the Buddha went about the country, preaching and persuading people to follow his way of life. But when he was 80, at Vaisali, and on his way from Rajagriha to Shravasti, he became ill and predicted that after 3 months he would enter Nirvana. Still he journeyed on until he reached Pava, when he fell seriously ill from some food offered by Chunda, a blacksmith. Eventually, in spite of great pain and weakness, he reached the forest that bordered Kisinagara. Lying between 2 large sala trees, he continued teaching his disciples until his last moment. Thus he entered into perfect tranquility after he had completed his work as the world's greatest teacher. このようにして伝道の旅を続けること45年、釈尊は80歳を迎えた。ラージャグリーハからシュラーバスティに赴く途中、バイシャーリーにおいて病を終え、三月の後に涅槃に入るであろうと予言された。さらに進んでパーバーに至り、鍛冶屋のチュンダの供養した食物にあたって病が悪化し、痛みをしてクシナガラに入った。釈尊は場外のシャーラ、木の林に行き、シャーラの大木が2本並び立っている間に横たわった。釈尊は年頃に弟子たちを教え、最後の刹那まで教えを説いて、世間の大同志たる仏としての仕事を成し終わり、静かに涅槃に入った。Under the guidance of Ananda, the Buddha's favorite disciple, the body was cremated by his friends in Kushinagara. 7 neighboring rulers, as well as King Ajatasattu, demanded that the relics be divided among them. The people of Kushinagara at first refused, and the dispute even threatened to end in war. But under the advice of a wise man named Drona, the crisis passed and the relics were divided among the 8 great countries. The ashes of the funeral pyre and the earthen jar that contained the relics were also given to 2 other rulers to be likewise honored. Thus 10 great towers commemorating the Buddha were built to enshrine his relics and ashes. クシナガラの人々は 釈尊が涅槃に入られたのを悲しみ嘆き、アーナンダーの指示に従って定められた通りに釈尊の遺骸を火葬した。この時マガダ国の王アジャータ・シャトルをはじめとするインドの8つの国々の王は皆釈尊の遺骨の分配を請うたが、クシナガラの人々はこれを拒否し、争いが起こった。しかし賢者ドローナの計らいにより遺骨は8大国に分配された。その他遺骸の亀と火葬の灰を受けたものがあり、それぞれの国に奉安されて、この世に仏の10の大塔が建立されるに至った。